Hey everybody, it's Melissa here. I am going live today on YouTube. Hey, how are you doing? It is so lovely to connect with you guys today. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, I'm going to talk about how to get unstuck and trust intuition and guidance. First of all, if you're here live, let me know that you can hear me because I'm using a mic and I always am not sure if it's working. So it should be, but let me know, it would be great. Okay. So first of all, I want to invite you to join me for the free online class I have coming up. It's called The Essential Steps to Finding Your Unique Life Purpose and Living It with Joy and Abundance. I had an amazing class last night. Thank you if you were there. And I will be offering it 2 more times tomorrow and one on Tuesday next week. So you want to go ahead and register for that at communicatewithangels.com/life purpose webinar. Okay, so if you're here live, please say hi. Let me know that you can hear me. It would be great. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. You are energy. You are here to learn and grow. You have a unique purpose and thrust. You have inner guidance and you are free. Those statements are the spiritual foundation that you can build upon. And innately, you came to planet Earth with a purpose and a plan. There will be things that you are naturally drawn to. I do not believe in destiny that everything is planned out and you don't have a choice in the matter. You always have choice. You can live your purpose or not. You can be on track with what you came to do, or you can do the exact opposite and probably be miserable. So if you are looking for that joy, that fulfillment in life, it is so important to start to align with your unique spiritual vibration and your unique purpose. And the answers to that lie within you. I know that for many of you, hearing that is probably a little bit annoying because you're like, yeah, I've heard that before, but I still don't know what it is. I still can't find it. And so I'm going to share with you today some of the things that you can do to get in touch with that and to realize what has actually been blocking you from being in alignment and having the clarity of what it is innately within you that guides you to your purpose, if that makes sense. So we're starting from the premise that you do have your answers inside. Even if you are struggling to find them, it is there. Okay, so that's why I wanted to start with that and say, okay, we're coming from the assumption right now that the answers are there and now you just need to find them. And now you need to uncover what is it that has prevented you from having that clarity so far. Okay, so a soul moves by desire. And one of the secrets to finding your heart, your purpose, is to really get in touch with that true heart's desire. On the webinar last night, I shared with people some symptoms that you might experience when you are not living your purpose. You could feel an inner crying. You could feel depressed for no reason. You might find yourself questioning a lot and going, is there more to life than this? What's the point? What's going on here? Right? You might find yourself just feeling stuck or overwhelmed or spinning your wheels. And those are all symptoms that your soul is calling to you to say, something's not right here. Something's out of alignment. And we need to kind of course correct to get back on purpose, because your true nature is a soul. You are a spiritual being. And so if you get too caught up in the expectations, the rules, the responsibilities in society and live your life from that material point of view and miss that soul's purpose and desire, you will start to feel dissatisfied, stuck, all those things that I just described. Because your soul is saying, hey, we didn't just come here to, go to work to pay the bills, right? I didn't just come here to raise the kids and leave myself out of the equation. You are a soul with a spiritual purpose. Yeah? So it's so important to bring that to the forefront of your life and, say, okay, everything else comes from the, how am I saying? I'm trying to find the right words to say what I want to communicate here. You start with that inner pivot point of, I am a soul and I have a purpose and I have things to accomplish. And then you organize your material life, your responsibility, your family life, your work life, your relationships based on that. It's not the other way around, right? It's not like, okay, this is my life and now I've got to somehow fit in spirituality. We've got to flip that around, right? Most of our society has the priorities upside down. So a soul moves by desire. You have this energy within you that guides you, but you may be out of touch with it. And so I'm going to give you some tips today to help you to see how you can get unstuck and get back in touch with that energy that guides you forward. Remember, this channel is Communicate with Angels. So you have a team of spirit guides or angels who are with you to help you with this process. They'll never tell you what to do, but they do have a bigger picture. And so they can give you suggestions, insights, ideas, hunches that get you out of that stuck place. I go like this because I always imagine that we live in a box, right? My head is in a box. This is what I've been taught that life should be. But our angels say, hey, what about this over here? What about this over here? Have you thought of this possibility? So that's a really, really important key, first of all, is to do those practices so that you can open yourself up to that communication. So if you want to start with that, the best place to start is my Angels Direct Connect consultation on my website, communicatewithangels.com. Okay, so again, heart's desire. So what is it that you truly desire? You need to start to identify that. And if you don't know what you want, that's a good place to start. So the idea is that you do know innately on a soul level what you desire. And if there's anything that's blocking you from knowing that, you need to start to uncover, okay, what is it I truly desire? And be really honest with yourself and notice when limiting thoughts are coming in to stop you from knowing that, okay? So identify what has been limiting you. Is it the belief that you can't quit your job because you will be out on the street not able to pay your rent? Is it the belief that in order to be a good parent, you have to sacrifice yourself? My dad did that his entire life. He did a job he hated so that he could support his family. But is that really necessary to do a job that you hate to support your family? Could it be possible that you could do a job that you love and still support the family, right? But for whatever reason, we take on these limiting beliefs and just live our life that way without questioning it. So I want you to start breaking that pattern and questioning, what is the belief here, right? It could a lot be tied to money. I know that was a really tough one for me for a lot of years. And I'm starting to move through that, but it's easy to get pulled back in. Okay, so what is it that you believe to be true that's stopping you from believing you can have the desire? I'll give you an example of one of my clients. I worked with her one-on-one, and what I find is that when people tell me they don't know what they want, it's actually not true. They do know what they want. They're just limiting themselves. So I usually find that within about 5 minutes, people tell me what they want. It's really fascinating, even if they don't realize it themselves. So in this client's case, she really wants to be an artist. But immediately she says all the reasons why she can't do that, right? She's too busy. She's got the kids. No artists ever earn any money. All these things, the responsibility to her husband's expectations. Every reason in the book why she can't do that. And yet the desire is there. So she's telling herself she doesn't know what she wants to do, but she actually does. Does that make sense? It's kind of, when I share the example that way about somebody else, it seems obvious, but you're probably doing this to a certain extent. I want you to really kind of take maybe even a whole week and just reflect on yourself. It's like, what is it that's limiting me? What is this belief that I'm holding that might actually not be true? And when you can shift that belief, possibilities start showing up, right? So if maybe the artist example, which would never be me, I can't even draw a stick figure, but hey, let me just take that example on. Okay, so if I really want to be an artist, but I have all these reasons and beliefs why I can't do it, then I'm going to be kind of going along feeling pressured and spinning my wheels. Hey, Shantae, you're welcome. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Hopefully that one will come back. So what you wanted, okay, got it back. Okay, so I'm going about my day like, okay, I can't do it. When I'm in that state, my angels can't get through with the suggestions of how you can be a successful artist, because I'm living in this box of I can't do it. So it's just energetically very hard for them to get through. They're probably still trying, but you immediately dismiss it or you don't even pay attention. Okay, so there's only so much that your angels will do to get through to you. They're not going to interfere with your free will, and they're not going to help you until you're ready. They'll still give you little suggestions and you still ignore them, and they still give little suggestions and you still ignore them. And then when you can do that inner work to say, okay, what if it would be possible for me to actually earn my living as an artist? I'm going to come from that space of, maybe it is possible. Let me see what I can do. And when I'm coming from that energy, all those messages that have been there from the angels can actually be received. And I go, oh, okay, maybe I'll go ahead and do this, right? But when you're blocked, you won't get through. So all the insights and hunches that your angels are trying to send you right now, you could be blocking them because you're coming from a certain state of consciousness, okay? So you have your own intuition as well, but it has to start with you. So I see a few people hopped on live just in the last couple of minutes. Welcome. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer them before I hop off today. So the other thing is, like, what are the habits? Even if you are open, we can have habits that stop us from acknowledging and receiving the hunches and the intuition. So I'll give you an example of something that happened to me within the last 24 hours, okay? So, hey, I'm not perfect at this either, and I think it's a good example. So I have had tickets to a rugby game. The New Zealand rugby team is coming to Washington, D.C., and it's like such a crazy thing. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime event. So I had to get tickets, even though they were kind of pricey. I bought the tickets probably a couple months ago, and it's coming up October 23rd. So there's been a group of New Zealand expats who have organized a hotel and a bus to and from the hotel to the rugby stadium and different things like that. And I kept seeing these communications on Facebook and saying, oh, yeah, I need to do that. And then procrastinating. Okay, so last night I saw another message and again I ignored it. And the bus booked out last night while I was busy with something else. And when I looked back on it later that evening, I was so annoyed at myself because I had the hunch to go ahead and book that on Monday, yesterday. And then I didn't do it and it sold out. And it's just going to make the trip quite inconvenient to not have that travel. It's not the end of the world, right? It's not like a really, really bad thing, but it's frustrating when you have those experiences where you don't trust that intuition, okay? So in that case, what was the habit that caused me to not pay attention? It's because I was rushing and I wasn't fully present and I wasn't acknowledging the hunch. I was just like, I wasn't in the moment. I was like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. And so now I take that as a learning opportunity and say, okay, this is where I need to improve in my spiritual growth. I need to be more present. When I get a hunch, instead of flicking it off, even like it seems like a little thing, really just take that deep breath and go, okay, Is this something I need to really acknowledge right now? Okay. So again, you could be getting the guidance on what to do, but your habits and your tendencies are meaning that you're not fully present to them. Okay. So I think that was the main things I wanted to share with you. Really, the key is like, where is it that you have been taking on a limitation that isn't actually true? You have your answers inside of you. Your angels will help guide you to that purpose and that path. And if you want to get the essential steps you need to take to find your purpose, join me for that free webinar. I'm offering 2 more class times. You don't want to miss it because it's likely the last time I'll be doing this class. So go to communicatewithangels.com/life purpose webinar. What I'm sharing on there is some things that you've probably never considered that are important in finding your purpose. Okay, I touched on one of them today, 2 of them really. I touched on the fact that you need to raise your vibration and get in touch with guidance and your own intuition. And I touched on that you need to tap into your heart's desire. There's 5 more steps that I'm going to share in that webinar. Okay, so it's free. It's really helpful to have this information. I am going to be offering a course on this, but even if you just sign up for the free class, you're going to get clarity. Everybody last night was commenting on one thing at least that they got clarity on, if not more. And even that one little insight can shift so much. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and answer the questions that you have. So if you have questions, type them in. I will stay on as long as I need to answer the questions. So you might as well ask while you're here. Okay, so Shantae said, when you're talking about reflecting on what your heart really wants, is it best to do that quietly or just talk aloud and release it? Either way, my preference is to write, because I find that I'm kind of an introverted personality. So for me, talking things out loud is not always the best. But hey, some people could be the totally opposite of that. So that's a very personal thing, I think. But my preference is to write things down, because as I write, I tend to get more insights and more intuition come to me. It's like getting in that flow. So I just write down, hey, if I had no limitations, if I had all the resources, all the time I needed, a lot of big way that we limit ourselves is time as well. Do you ever find yourself saying, I don't have enough time? Because time can't be created. Time is time. So it's actually never true. Okay. Bonnie, hi. Is it possible that members of your angel team can have opposing messages? No, your members of your angel team won't have opposing messages. If you are experiencing opposing messages, the opposing message is probably coming from something else that's not your angels. And if that's the case, then you need to cleanse. We are very, very sensitive. We're picking up on energy from other people, from the environment, and sometimes even from other souls. And so you can have just that real confidence that the messages of your angels are going to be distinct, simple, and clear. And if you're experiencing anything else, that is not your personal team of angels. The best way to move beyond that is to practice the spiritual cleansing technique as often as you can. You can do it many times during the day. Always cleanse before you ask your angels a question. It's really, really important. So if you don't know that spiritual cleansing, I have a free video on that, which you can pick up at communicatewithangels.com/cleansing. Okay, Shantae, how do we have the best communication for our angels to be understood without any miscommunication? Yeah, you're welcome, Bonnie. Yeah. That's kind of a tricky question to answer, because it depends on what is the mistake that you're making that's causing the misunderstanding. Just my advice would be very clear and specific about how you're phrasing the question. Don't assume that they know, and be very, very detailed in the question so it's bleedingly obvious. Even I'll give you guys an example. So I have 2 colleagues that we have run retreats and online programs together before. And we were organizing a program, and we were checking with our angels on the best timing of things, and actually even the best pricing for this course. And one person of the three of us was thinking that it was going to be a small group, like 6 people. The other 2 of us were saying, hey, we want this to be a really large group, as many people, 30, 40 people would be great. And so because we were coming from a different mindset about what the program was going to be, we got different answers from our angels. It was an assumption. It wasn't even stated in the question. So once we clarified, okay, what's actually our goal here? Then you phrase your question based on that goal, and we all got the same answer from guidance. It was quite fascinating. So that just is an example of how important it is to be clear about what you really want and what you're really asking about. It's easy to assume that, oh, they're my angels, they know everything I want, but they're not you. They're separate beings from you, okay? So communicate to them as if they are another soul that you're communicating with. Don't think they're part of you. I know that sounds a bit weird, but people do that. Okay, how can our angels help us to communicate when people need us but have questions, time to relax? How do you keep the balance? You need to learn to say no to those people that are interfering with your energy. Set some boundaries. How can we focus on our dreams and destiny in a world of communication when I'm naturally shy? So, Shantae, it sounds like it's about being loyal to yourself, because both of those 2 questions are kind of leaning toward that. And I'm somewhat using my intuition to answer this because, again, it's quite personal what you're asking me there. But there's many people, most people I would say, are taught to put themselves last. Being loyal to yourself first feels very selfish and wrong and bad. But again, that's just one of those limiting concepts that I was talking about earlier. So you came here to live your life. It is not selfish to live your desires. It's actually the most loving thing you can do. It's the best way to be of service to others, because those people need to learn not to encroach on your boundaries as well. And you're guiding them and teaching them that by setting boundaries. Yeah, I hope that helps a little, Shantae. Okay, so if anyone else has a question, now is the time to ask. I'll just wait 1 more minute. And how do you see or feel about heaven? So my personal beliefs is that all of the things that we talk about in Christianity can have a spiritual viewpoint, and it's really a lot of semantics. So I don't resonate with the religious idea of heaven, but I do think there's truth in that concept. And actually, we can be living in heaven here on planet Earth. We don't have to die to be happy. So heaven to me is that place where I'm in alignment and when I'm connected and when I'm in flow. And I can experience that here as well. All right. Any other questions? It's just coming up to 11:11 Eastern time. So perfect timing, of course. Yeah, thank you, Shantae. I'm glad that resonates with you. I'm just going to wait to 11:11 just for the fun of it. It's like 11:10. All right. I hope to see you guys on the webinar tomorrow. I would love to have you. I will be recording it if you can't make it live. So go ahead and register to get the replay. That's a really good thing to do because I'll only be sending the recording out to registrants. I'm going to go ahead and type the link one more time and do invite your friends. All right. Okay. It's 11:11, so it must be time to go. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, everybody who is here live and watching the replay. Much love. Have a beautiful day. Bye.